unbeatable.
Fun thing. We're talking about it for a couple times. Let's talk Pokemon. We're gonna talk about it a little bit, and then we can get out of here. So,
Can you send me the image? Because I don't have it on me right now. I need to dig it up somewhere, but
wait, mine? Did I send it to you before?
no. I mean, I thought I sent mine to yours, and you're gonna pull that up as well, right?
Did you? I was just gonna say
Yeah.
like, so can you send me?
I'm pretty sure I did.
Let me go scrolling. Let me
I
pause
think
the
I'll find
recording.
it. Just...
I'll pause the recording for a little bit, and we'll be right back on if I find it. Alrighty, but yeah, I think we talked about this a little bit at some point, but I don't remember when Jeexx did this, but Jeexx did it at some point, and I was like, I think I had also made this before, but I figured I might as well update it a little bit, so I ended up going back and redoing it, and now I'm mostly just curious to see. I think I said like I'll be impressed if we have a 10 common ones. So now the question is, do we have 10 common ones? How should we break this down? Is generation or type?
Generations? I think generations makes the most sense.
All right.
But like I can already see that we at least have one.
Yes.
At least one, two actually.
Arcanine is there. Hitmonchan
Arcanine
is
is there,
there
yeah.
also. Okay.
Technically, we have more in common, but I have the first evolutions, but you have the final or third, or final or second. But yeah.
Yeah, and also some are just indifferent. Like you have for Poison, you have Gengar, and then for Ghost, I have Gengar.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of cheating to have Gengar and Haunter pair.
Bro, Haunter is so fucking cool. Like, Ghastly's the only loser of the bunch. Like, Haunter and Gengar are both sick.
Okay, but
10 out of 10.
my issue here is that you have two from same evolution line. I think that's kind of cheating. Also, this dude is not a true Pokemon fan. He picks something for Dark in Gen 1 when there's nothing.
Substitute,
Gen 1 doesn't have a Dark types.
Are we going in order, or are we just glancing?
We can we don't need to talk about everything, because if we chat here for an hour and a half, I'm gonna be dead by the end of it. So I think we can just glance, and if there are some like that you think are noteworthy, then
I mean, looking at favorites for Gen 1. Oh my god, I put Arcanine there?
I indeed did.
You know, that's cool and all, but the question is, where the fuck is Alakazam, bro?
That's funny, because I literally, when I'm looking at yours, there's literally, well, I have two that I want to ask about. Number one is Nidoking. Do you have any specific reason why you like him?
It was one of the Pokemon that I first went like, holy shit, that's cool.
Okay.
Like when I saw when I was a kid, the card specifically made me go like, "Yo, that's cool." Same with Giovanni's Nidoqueen, I think that was one of the like first gym leader cards that I saw.
Yeah, because
there's no particular reason beyond that.
Okay.
Also, I just realized I don't have Gyarados on here because for water types I prefer Lapras, and for flying types I prefer Pidgeot. But Gyarados is like, for the same reasons that I technically have Alakazam in here. Gyarados could be like Gyarados could just straight up be in the favorite slot because of the same reasons that Alakazam is, which is I fucking, if I'm playing a game that has Gen 1 Pokemon, the odds of me not having either of those is practically none.
Also, did you like try to go like no dupes like throughout? Because I think I did. Yeah, I definitely did. Yeah, because it's like when, like for example, like when I was picking like gimmick forms for something, like if I picked my favorite gimmick form to be something earlier, then like later on I didn't go the same one because I already had picked it, for example.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Like I would definitely do it if I set out with the mentality of I'm gonna make sure that I don't pick any dupes.
Mm-hmm.
But for me personally, I was like, I don't have like any Pokemon from Gen 6 that I like.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just gonna pick the ones that I like from both the gimmick forms, like the megas and stuff, which might overlap with like Sableye being in there, Mega Bandit being somewhere in there, and so on and so forth.
Okay, I mean, I do have also like I have obviously I have skipping a little bit ahead. I have Blaziken and Mega Blaziken in there, but I was like, okay,
Yeah,
I'm not gonna repeat like when I have like Mega Blaziken there. Like my favorite gimmick form is then not also gonna be Mega Blaziken. I meant more like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
But I
Uh,
don't know
that makes
how
sense.
else to answer your question about where is Alakazam than to that being the second question is me questioning how the hell is Alakazam in there. I'll be first and foremost. I can I actually still find it because I think Psychic is one of my actually least favorite types in Pokemon, just because I think like if I think of noteworthy, okay, actually, why am I searching for this? I need to search for this. Um,
You can tell this guy never played Gen 1.
oh yeah, there you go. I found my Pokemon type tier list, and the third from the bottom is Psychic. The only two types below it are Fairy and Ice. And this was
Gross.
literally like I thought of like how many Pokemon can I think of that I actually like of these types. And for Psychic, it's very, very few. So,
That's fucked up. This is fucked
and
up.
I think Alakazam is, apart from the name of the evolution lab being Abracadabra Alakazam, which is cool, I think
Hell yeah.
the designs themselves are some of the most boring Pokemon designs literally ever. I don't like
What?
Alakazam like at all. I've only ever liked him when I used him when I was playing competitively on Showdown and doing OU climbing, and Mega Alakazam was really good in certain Sun and Moon formats because Tapu Lele was really broken and one of the most popular
I
Pokemon in the
mean,
game, and that's the only reason why I've ever used him.
I also want to point out I don't like Mega Alakazam. I don't like the design of Mega Alakazam. I think that's a significantly big downgrade from Alakazam itself.
I think it actually looks a lot better than base Alakazam, and I think
Bro.
like out of the line, Mecha Alakazam is the only one that I have any uh, affinity towards, but it's very,
Man.
very little.
Like I like Abra's design the most out of these, but
It's cute, so
obviously like I'm
that's
not
passing.
picking Abra as my favorite solely because he's cute. Because I can't use that Pokemon. It doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh yes, I'm gonna pick the version of the Pokemon that I like that actually functions, and I've used in every single time that I played the video games. I've used this Pokemon. Like I think the only time I haven't used Alakazam is recently in Scarlet and Violet, because I specifically went, I'm not gonna get Alakazam this time. I am not gonna use Abra. I'm not gonna use any of the Pokemon that I've used before. Like pretty sure my whole team was from not Alola, fucking, I don't even remember the region. Paldea.
Paldea.
Oh yeah, Paldea. Yeah. But
I
yeah, it's Alakazam is just there because of nepotism, pretty much. You know.
That's cool. I mean, for most of my reasonings, like already you heard, and when I asked you about Nidoking, like most of my reasoning are probably gonna be for competitive play. Like I like Nidoking because he's one of my favorite Pokemon to use in Yu-Gi-Oh ladder, and the Sheer Force is my single favorite ability in all of Pokemon.
Holy shit,
I think
that
it's
is
really cool.
interesting.
Sheer Force Life Orb is just it's a silly interaction that doesn't feel like it should work, but it works, and I think that's very cool. And it's a really strong interaction. But anything else there
In
in
Gen 1 and Gen 2. I mean,
Gen 1 for
in Gen 1,
that catches?
I've I mean, you have the Ivysaur and I have Bulbasaur, so I think that's a little bit of overlap. And I have Dragonair and you have Dragonite, and we both have Magneton. That's good. That's good.
There's only
It's good.
Magneton and Magnemite.
You have Magneton. That's good. That's a good
I don't
choice.
like Magneton.
What?
This is literally the Karaka
believe
Junior Borderlands 3 case. It's the favorite son by elimination. I do not
I
like it.
I can't believe I'm hearing this. It's a steel type. By law, you have to like it.
Steel is probably my favorite type in all of Pokemon. It's steel.
There we
It's
go.
steel or fighting, depending on the day, and it's a steel type, and I don't like it. So that should tell
That's
you something about
unfortunate.
it.
No,
I do
that's
think
super sad.
Magnezone is cool though, but I do not like Magneton. I feel like a part
See,
of it is that I'm just biased towards fully evolved Pokemon. As you can see, like there are very few not fully evolved Pokemon on my list, but I think like overall they do always just improve the designs as well. So that carries
I
part
see.
as well.
I'm like kind of the opposite for a lot of Pokemon. Like a lot of the early stages for starters, I prefer to the later stages.
Mm.
Like I think Torterra is the one where I'm like, that's a better Turtwig. This is better. I like this more. He's big, bulky, he's loud. Hell yeah. But then for like Chimchar, Infernape looks like he's wearing like some fucking onesie, and Monferno looks just awful. Fucking Empoleon is kind of cool. That's kind of sick. Not gonna lie, but that's because like Piplup is just outshined by Totodile and Oshawan. So and well, Mudkip, but Mudkip's not on my list. But that's don't think about that. Also, speaking of Gen 2, real quick, we both have Quilava,
Oh,
which is an exception.
do you want to go to Gen 2?
I mean, do we have something more about Gen 1? Because I don't really have anything of note, other than maybe like Rhydon being there, but like Rhydon, I think Rhydon's cool. Like
Right on
I
these
don't
nuts?
remember if it's Rhydon this nuts.
Yeah. Also,
In the TCG, I think it's Dark Rhydon, the one that has him like running towards the screen. Yeah, that was one of my favorite cards as a kid. It had 100 HP. This thing is massive, giga bulky, and this is why I kind of like Rhydon. And then later on, I found out that Rhydon is arguably better than Rhyperior because of Evilite, and then
yeah.
that itself made it let me go like, hell yeah, I fucking hate Rhyperior. Stay winning Rhydon.
Well, we'll get to that when we get to Gen 4. I'll say that much. But yeah, I guess my
Yeah.
final point for Gen 1, I also think like it's a like pretty cool note to find it like the legend where it's such a limited pool. Like for you it's Mewtwo, for me it's Mew.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. That's kind of
That's
like
good neat.
why is it Mew for you?
Definitely the movie, like 100% the movie.
Because I recently rewatched the Mewtwo movie, and
Yeah,
wow,
Mewtwo's
Mew
so
is
good.
an asshole.
No,
Mew is horrible.
no. She,
Like, wow.
she's innocent. She doesn't understand. She's a kid, bro. She's a baby.
She's lived for longer than humanity.
And now she wants to have a little bit of fun, and that makes her a terrorist. Okay, man.
Yeah, saying Mewtwo, you don't deserve to exist. Your clones don't have the right to exist. You're a mistake that should be purged. Yeah, that's innocent. I mean, that's
Well, I think grabbing people's Pokemon and cloning them against their will. I think that's kind of weird, champ from Mewtwo, but he did give us one of the hardest quotes in all of fiction, so I'll forgive him
are we
for that one.
just to check? Are we talking about the Japanese version or the English version? 'Cause
I
the
have
version I recently
never
watched was the
seen
Japanese.
the Japanese version in my life.
Okay, yeah. So Mew is actually like evil in like practically evil in the Japanese
But
version,
bro is
being
pulling out
actively
the manga.
hostile.
Actually, this
Yeah.
character in the manga is a bastard.
See, Mewtwo is actually innocent. Mewtwo is a literal child that has existed for like 2 weeks.
Okay. Well,
It's just doing what it thinks is best because it had a traumatic dream where it saw its like creator's failed clone of his daughter die because of a defect that they couldn't fix in any other Pokemon other than Mewtwo. Like, bro, Mewtwo's fucking traumatized. And then this little shit, this little pink shit, this little fucking Ditto comes in and is like, you should die. And then you're surprised when he gets mad?
all right. Final thing before we move on, because we're still in Gen 1. Since you're talking about you're yapping about your Japanese versions, let me just play a 27-second clip from YouTube that establishes the English version to be the superior one. Mewtwo, give us the quote.
The human sacrificed himself to save the Pokemon. I pitted them against each other, But not until they set aside their differences did I see the true power they all shared deep inside. I see now that the circumstances of one's birth are irrelevant. It is what you do with the gift of life
I totally heard this
that
quote, and I
determines
totally
who
know
you
which
are.
quote you're talking about.
I
Facts,
see
baby.
now that the circumstances of one's life are indignant. It is what you do with the gift of life that determines what you are.
That's the Japanese script!
It's cold.
That's from the Japanese script!
My Japanese guys.
Man! He literally says it to Mew!
Okay.
When Mewtwo understands more things than a Mew does before Mew. Because guess what? Mewtwo is better. Anyway, I'm glad we established that, guys. I'm glad everybody in the comments agrees with me.
Kind of weird that Bro had to bring his sides here into a let's agree to disagree and move on point to finally having to have the final say. But anyways, let's move
Stay
on.
winning.
And Psychic, let's just say that Gen 2 Psychic stays losing, and further proof that anyone who likes Psychic types is a felon.
Okay, but
what is Wobbuffet doing there, bro?
dude, the number of times I've played a Nuzlocke and the number of times that this motherfucker has shown up and given me existential dread when I'm shadow tagged in, this fucker
tag
Destiny
into a
bounced,
50-50.
and then I'm just sitting there thinking, I was like, great, what the fuck am I gonna do? I'm not allowed to catch it, I'm not allowed to kill it, and I just have to pray.
Shadow tag into 50-50, and this dude puts his as his favorite.
Hell yeah. Because it's trauma. I've grown to respect this piece of shit. This fucking fella. He's just a tiny fella. He's just here to ruin my day, kill my ace every time.
Well,
The number of runs I've lost to having this fucking thing show up.
if anything, at least bro, this is also telling me how, like, I don't know, I feel like Gen 2 always gets, I mean, not always, I feel like these days it's more the newer generations, but like, it used to always be like Gen 2 was the forgettable one, and it's pretty funny to look like after Psychic, literally every single one of our picks until like the Gimmick Farmer Legend is just the same.
Yeah,
So,
but
Caesar for both, Tyranitar for both, Mischief is obviously the only one there, but
Yeah.
Kingdra,
That's-
Umbreon, Skarmory, Zoomeril, and then
Kingdra is also the only one there, pretty sure.
it could be, or
Yeah, because only Dragon type that was reduced.
yeah.
Yeah,
True,
but
true,
then like Azumarill is not the only one. There's Snubble and also Gramble. Yeah, but
okay. Yeah, if
but like
if there's Snubble
Azumarill
there,
is
I would have to question
fucking
something.
bro. This thing has huge power.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's cool. I like it. Skarmory, like you can see it there, right? It is out of all the steel types that I listed, it is the one that I got. That's a steel type. That Pokemon is a steel type, and this represents steel type in my mind. And I think this, like, in that way, Skarmory deserves, like, for me, the top spot of all steel types.
That's
But
fair.
yeah, I think Umbreon is it's the Best EV form.
We'll talk about best evolutions when we get there. I won't spoil anything yet, but Umbreon is up there, definitely. I think, like, visually, it's one of my favorites for sure.
But I think talking about the ones that are not the same could be kind of interesting, because like we also have Crobat and fucking is Heracross the only fighting type? No, Tyrogue in this, and Hitmontop isn't.
I was like, okay, put some respect on Hitmontop's name, but
yeah, my bad. But then for flying, you have Lugia and I have Murkrow.
Yep.
Why Lugia?
I think Lugia is very cool. I actually like it, like, well, once again, I think it's partly because of the movie, but also I have very fond memories of Soul Silver, actually one of my favorite Pokemon games of all time. And although like Lugia was one of those, I mean, I never too much enjoyed Ubers anyway, but and Lugia was never really good, so not really a competitive reason for this, but it's part of just the movie and just like having fond memories of Soul Silver, and I just think Lugia looks really cool, and I don't really hold any affinity towards Murkrow, apart from I think the like having the tiny Murkrow, the more Murkrow like spoiler alert, Murkrow kind of mogging on the leader of what was the team's name? Team Gorak
No,
in Pokemon Ranger is
no.
pretty funny.
I never played Pokemon Ranger. I'm afraid.
I genuinely think it's a phenomenal spin-off game.
Nice, nice. I have to keep it in mind for the future.
Mm.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Like, arguably, Lugia is one of my favorite legendaries as well, even though it's not on here because like I prefer Celebi in Gen 2 to it
Mm-hmm.
over like Ho-Oh and the dogs and yeah. I
Mm-hmm.
think Celebi, its design is so simple. It has that similar like as you can probably tell, a lot of the designs that I have, a lot of the Pokemon that I have here are here because I like their first forms, and Celebi has that similar vibe to it as a first form Pokemon does. Like you
Mm-hmm.
can even see that from the rest of the legendaries that I have. I have Jirachi, I have Shaman, I don't even fucking remember this guy's name right now. Fuck. Ah, it's it's
I'm not helping you there. That's
ah
one of my favorite mythical.
Marshadow.
Yeah, good one. It's one of my favorite mythicals.
I
And
was sitting there like
actually, I
Marsh.
paid. Fun fact: I paid $5.50 to some random dude on
Oh
eBay to
shit.
buy a code for Marshadow from them.
Nice. See, you were about to say Marsh Stomp as well.
Yeah, it's
That's why I was so
right.
fucking stomped. You know.
But they should not
Yeah.
make they should remove a stomp from its learn pool. It would help a little bit. But
Real,
yeah,
real.
any
And then, oh,
yeah anything crazy? Because I'm trying to think like from the comparisons. Like yeah, third I get Totodile. I mean everybody
yeah,
likes Totodile. I guess
peak.
Ampharos.
Ampharos?
Yeah.
Ampharos, because like it's one of the Pokemon that sticks in memory from playing Gen 2
Mm-hmm.
because of the Lighthouse quest. Like
Yeah.
there's not really much else. Like I remember seeing it in the anime at some points and it was kind of cute.
Okay.
Flaffy's overall like cuter in the third movie, I think,
Yeah.
but that's about it. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
not like much to it. I've never had a chance to really use it.
It's also one of my favorite sequences in when like I think almost at every movie they have one of those like trainer battle sequences and they always have banger music there. I actually really
Yeah,
like the third movie's trainer battle sequence.
that's the there's two, right? There's one in the very beginning with Quagsire and Pikachu, and then
Yeah,
later on with I think it's Brock and the girl, and also Misty and the girl.
I
I think
actually
they
don't
both
even
fight.
remember that one, but yeah, the first one was what I was referring to.
Yeah, the one with Antitusco singing. Yeah,
Yeah, yes. Yeah, okay, because I was mostly curious, like, did you like it because it's different in a way? Like, obviously, most of the time electrics are all fast and the Ampharos is actually a very slow one, so I figured I wanted to ask, like, was it because of that
I've,
or something else? But yeah, okay.
yeah. I've never had a chance to actually use an actual Ampharos. I've had Flaffy in my
Probably a good
Nuzlocke
thing.
teams, but like Ampharos has never really stuck around, mostly because of the fact that it's just fucking exploded 90% of the time at some point.
Mm-hmm.
So
I like I like Mega Ampharos. I not a fan of regular one,
yeah,
but
that's Mega Ampharos is the dragon electric one, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
with the
All right.
luscious locks.
Hell
But
yeah. Just like me for
anything else? Because I don't, nothing really
favorites.
so mind here. Yeah, for favorites you have Scizor. I have for Alligator. In
I'm
I
gonna be
guess
honest.
yeah,
For alligator, top
yeah.
three. Top
For
three definitely.
Alligator is
Yeah.
great. I don't know.
It's
Genshin.
like out of all of the final evolutions for the starters, it's my favorite. Like even though it's not on here and Typhlosion Ghost is on here, I know that sounds weird and like the other two, it's the one that I am fucking championing for the AZ game having a Feraligatr in it. Because Gen 2
I'm
keeps
excited.
struggling.
We need. I think I think still, if it's gonna be a Mega for a starter from Gen 2, it should be Mega Meganium, because Meganium is some hot ass. But yeah,
Okay, but
I
who
wouldn't complain about a Mega for Alligator. I think for
yeah.
Alligator is really cool. And yeah, I mean, I'm a Bailey fan over Meganium anyway, thanks to the
Best.
anime. I think Bailey's
Oh,
very cute.
Okay, the reason why I have Jumpluff here is because one of my favorite cards as a kid was a Jumpluff. Like it was a holographic Jumpluff. Like I know a lot of these are cards,
Yeah,
you know.
I was just gonna say it's actually pretty cool how like for me a reason for a lot of these was like competitive Pokemon, and for you like it's the same thing about TCG.
It's not that I didn't play the game back in the day. It was
Yeah,
just I
just
collected
cool.
these. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
like for the most part, I didn't even have the money to collect them myself, so I just got them from like the older kids in my neighborhood, and they looked really nice. Like, look at it. I'll send you the image.
oh
Look at this one.
awesome.
Yeah, I like this one a lot.
Oh,
It's holographic and everything.
I'm 90% sure I actually have this in my binder
Yeah,
back in my parents' place. Oh yeah,
it's
let me
really
show
nice.
everybody this one. I'm pretty sure. I know I have a like when I checked. That's like 6 years ago at this point. Like that's literally pre-pandemic or during the pandemic. Like when I check my Pokemon cards, I don't really have much valuable stuff. But in this like similar style with this like super bright yellow borders, like I have a Gengar. That was like back then when I checked the most like valuable card in my collection. I think it was $46.
Oh wow, yeah, that makes sense. Like Gengar is a super popular Pokemon, right? As you can probably people can tell from the fact that it's on here,
Yeah.
and also like in the TCG, there's a billion of them. There's
Yeah,
so many of them, and people love collecting Gengars for some reason.
yeah, for sure. But we've almost been Gen 2 for 15 minutes now. So, final thing before we move on to Gen 3. You have no legendary dogs in there? Do you not like any of
No,
them? Or if you
no.
like at all, then okay. I was gonna ask like which one is your favorite.
Like out of them, probably my favorite would have to be Suicune, but
Hmm.
I'm not a particular fan of any of them.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I think Raikou is my favorite. That's why, but Suicune is in the legend because Raikou was already in the electric spot.
yeah, yeah. That makes sense.
Then
We
Gen
didn't
3.
talk about
Oh,
we didn't talk about Larvitar Tyranitar.
yeah.
I think the
I think Tyranitar is obvious.
yeah.
Any, is there something special? If you have a special story about Larvitar, go ahead.
Have you watched the anime?
Uh, I've seen a lot of it. I do not remember Larvitar in the anime.
Ash had a Larvitar for a while, but it was
Mm-hmm.
never his Larvitar. He had one hanging around, and the whole time, this fucking weird green little rock dinosaur thing, just like they kept kind of hyping it up, and it never went anywhere. So eventually, when I saw the Celebi movie and I saw Tyranitar, that was sick. So Larvitar is like it's kind of similar to Buffett, where it lives on in my memory due to the fact that like I have fond memories of the anime, and I felt kind of cheated out of it. And later on, as time has gone by, I kind of have rose tinted glasses towards Larvitar because of all that. And then Tyranitar is probably my favorite out of the.
Mm,
But
cool.
I didn't put the reason why Tyranitar is not there later is because that guy there is like definitively my favorite rock type. So,
Fair.
unfortunate.
And
Yeah.
Mega Scizor and Scizor as the favorite gimmick form and favorite overall. I
Yeah.
mean, Scizor is really fucking cool.
Caesar
Anything
is
specific there? The only reason I don't
uh,
have Mega Scizor there is because I think, while design-wise it's cooler than Heracross, Heracross actually getting a cool ability that actually makes otherwise not very good moves actually really good. I think it's neat instead of just obviously how for Scizor it stays the same.
I've never played in any game that has megas in it.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
So the
It just
reason why
another
Scizor
Scizor.
is yeah, it's just the cooler Scizor. So yeah. But overall, I prefer base Scizor because of that. Like base Scizor is again an Alakazam kind of situation where if I have a chance to get a Scizor, I will get a Scizor.
That's
It's just a de facto Pokemon that I will use.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right,
Gen
so shall
3.
we now move on to Gen 3?
Yay!
With this, we're gonna be here for a while.
Trust me, when we get to 5 and 6 and 7, it's gonna go by way faster. Because I'm just gonna be like, I didn't like any of them. I didn't like any of them. I didn't like any of them. This guy looked funny. This guy looked stupid. I played this guy at the TCG, that kind of thing.
All right,
And that's it.
that's fair. But As for Gen 3, is there anything? I see a lot of weenies here for you.
A lot of winners, yeah. I think Gen
Well,
3 has a lot of really good designs for like the first two evolutions. Like Zigzagoon is really cute. Like Zigzagoon is legitimately really solid. I think the Galarian form is a little bit better. Torchic I prefer over Blaziken because I think Blaziken just looks kind of strange to me. I don't know why. It just doesn't like it doesn't like looking at it. It doesn't make me go like that's cool the same way like Sceptile does or any or even like Swampert does. And Corphish because I just like Corphish core. It's the anime. It's the anime, man. The anime sold me on Corphish over Crawdon. Trico, the anime, when Trico has that little leaf, you know, that thing, the twig,
the twig in his
peak,
Yep.
peak, and then he becomes Grovyle, and he becomes inferior, and then he becomes Sceptile, and he's actually does he even become Sceptile? I don't remember right now.
No, Ash
No.
caps out the aggro. Well, I'm 90% sure.
Yeah, he never really gets fucking full evolutions outside like
Yeah, it's very
Charizard.
rare.
Actually, never mind. He does get full evolutions in the final season where he
And
is.
there's a reason why he wins, because he's actually using good Pokemon. He's actually evolving his Pokemon.
That's Draco Fish. What the fuck?
Fish is Ren, baby.
Fish.
Ash finally decided, nah, I'd win. It's time.
I don't.
Anyway, so go on.
Manic Trick is here because like that's a default win. Plusle and Minen, I don't fucking care.
Snow over Spiel is gonna get you some death threats, I'm sure of that.
Anime.
Mm-hmm.
I
Then,
prefer
well,
Snow.
would you like to then justify Luigi or whoever the CEO, Hell CEO Killer's favorite Pokemon is? Us both having that there, this aged perfectly.
Wow.
It's pretty funny that both of us have it there. Aged perfectly.
Breloom is a powerhouse in Gen 3. The Gen 3 is the one generation that I've played the most. It's the one that it's the one that I've Nuzlocke the most. And Shroomish.
Yeah, this
is
guy
cool and all.
likes drinking water and breathing oxygen. Cool.
Yeah, crazy. And then Breloom comes out and he just starts throwing hands. Huh?
Mm-hmm. Breloom is cool.
And it's got Spore, because you level your Shroomish to like 30, and it's got Spore, 100% hit rate, sleep, damn.
Spore, Swords Dance,
Spore.
Muck Punch, Bullet Seed with Technician. That she goes
Oh.
crazy in OU. Give it a focus sash.
Fucking wild. I don't know none of these things.
Yeah, I for me, Breloom, literally, I think it looks cool. I mean, I like fighting types just overall, but that's one of those Pokemon also that I've used a lot in competitive play.
I think that for me, it's the one that I often use in Nuzlocke, and for you, it's competitive. I think that's like a good way of looking at
that's
how this is
also
always
true.
gonna like this, and the TCG as well. Like I'm gonna talk about the TCG and things I like in that. Yeah,
Mhm.
that makes sense. Dustox and Roselia.
Yes.
Again, Dustox is a Pokemon that has come in really clutch sometimes during Nuzlocke.
I think Rosalia
Like,
just has a, clean design. Was cool in the anime. I don't know. Mostly just I think the design is cool.
Yeah,
But
I think it's pretty.
Nothing against Dustox.
Trapinch versus Swampert. Sorry.
Trapinch is cute, but yeah.
Yeah.
I like Marsh Stomp, Swampert. Marsh
I was
Stomp on the mind, bro.
Stop on my saying. I almost said it too, but like I think I prefer Vibrava and the Vibrava and Trapinch to Flygon, because I think Flygon is a little weird, and every time I've used Flygon in any Nuzlocke, it doesn't really perform as well as I would like it to. So
Mhm.
it doesn't live up to the hype.
Yeah.
Salamence versus Rayquaza. I think
have
Salamence
there
is cool.
later as well. I used him as my dedicated. When I played, like I said, talked about Soul Silver, I think Soul Silver. Actually, no. So I was gonna say Soul Silver is the one that I played the most, but no, I did. I maxed out the in-game clock in Pearl. I didn't do that in Soul Silver, but Pearl was also my first game on the DS, and I got that when I was 9 or 10. So I was gonna clock in a lot of time for that, but I did max out the in-game clock for that. But for Soul Silver, my team was always one Pokemon each for each of the Elite Four members, plus the champion that I was trying to counter them with, as well as also level them up. And then I had a Shiny Salamence that knew Fly that always then flew me back into the Elite Four when I got returned to the gym. Not gym, hometown. And that's my story to liking Salamence.
Hell yeah. I think
Great
that's a
choice,
valid
it's just
story. Yeah, I agree. I think Shiny Rayquaza. I think it's Shiny Rayquaza, the one that's in Conquest. the black one,
black
black and
gold
yellow
one,
one.
yeah.
Yeah, that's so fucking cool.
It
It's
is.
arguably one of the coolest Pokemon designs.
Yeah, it is one of the cleanest shinies. It's very simple,
Yeah,
very clean.
doesn't need too much. And then we have Psychic, it's Deoxys versus Jirachi.
Yeah,
That's kind of funny.
You have the best Deoxys form picked, so I'll give it up for that. I also think if I had to pick, it would be attack. But yeah.
Yeah. I think the spiky design just kind of like spoke to me. It's edgy enough where I feel like this fits Deoxys and just like looks kind of cool.
Yeah. But yeah, for
Uh,
Jirachi here, it's also this is actually where I realize I have this here
Yeah, but
and
do- yeah.
legend, but I guess the legend could be Groudon as well, but I really like Jirachi. I think it's kind of for degenerate reasons. I just think like a Pokemon having access to Serene Grace with both a paralysis move and a flinch move, both with 60% rate for their additional effects is it's kind of funny, but it's mythical, so she can have it, and it's cute.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I wholeheartedly agree on it being cute at the very least because I don't know half of these effects. In fact, I'm trying to look up what the fuck Serene Grace does right now.
Doubles the additional effects. So essentially, if your move has a 30% chance to flinch as a secondary effect, now it's 60% with Serene Grace. If your move has a 30% chance to paralyze, now it's 60%. It basically just doubles all these. Like flamethrower burns 10% of the time, so Serene Grace makes it burns 20% of the time.
That's pretty good. That's overall pretty good.
It's a really strong competitive ability. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like for most of it's just like, yes, I like this. I don't really have crazy stories for when I'm looking at stuff. I mean, I don't know what. I like Aggron just because it looks cool, and I think Rockhead is a neat ability, giving Rockhead to a mon. I would like these where you give an ability to a mon that also has a move that takes like full advantage of it, because it feels like, oh, they wanted you to have this cool strong synergy, like Head Smash with Rockhead, for example. Like, okay, crazy move. The drawback is you take a lot of recoil. Now you don't take any recoil. It's like, hey, okay, that's cool. But
yeah, that's
apart from that, like, Armaldo is neat, Bennett is neat. Like, none of these is anything crazy. I like Metagross because I use it a lot in UU, and yeah, I mean, internet has ruined Gardevoir, but I think Gardevoir is really cool.
yeah. I wholeheartedly agree on most of these points. I think
I know you have something, at least for Bennett.
yeah. I'm just gonna run down them as well real quick.
Yep.
Shedinja, a fucking amazing Pokemon in any kind of Nuzlocke, especially if it's randomized, because you can always use it like in a way where the gym leader obviously doesn't have a cover for a weakness, and you can just use it to switch in bait shit and whatnot. It's really fun. It's really cool. Aggron, I don't remember why, but I remember having a really cool Aggron card that I got from somewhere, but I don't remember which set it was or which like card it was art-wise. I just remember it was really cool and I liked it a lot. Metagross, same reason. My very first actual starter deck was a Metagross deck. I'm pretty sure it was a Metagross and Jirachi deck, but I'm not 100% sure on if the Jirachi was in there, and I've been trying to look for the specific version of Jirachi that I was thinking of. But then later on, I also I had a deck that played Metagross as a kind of a second boss monster, where it had the ability to force both players to switch. So I could easily use it to retreat whatever thing I had in my active slot to get another Pokemon out without having to waste energies. It was really good overall, and had a solid 160 attack at the time. For if I removed, I think all metal energies that I had on it. Sableye, I think Sableye is one of the coolest Pokemon ever made. It's a Grimlow Pokemon. It's the kind of Pokemon that I think should not ever be good, but then it turns out that it is like decent, and in the TCG it's banned in some formats because it's just fucking that good. I think Junk Hunt Sableye was one of the ones that got banned at some point. There's a few that like are just generally degenerate. And Mawile, I think Mawile has grown on me over the years. I originally didn't really like the design, but I've seen a few cool cards of it. They're pretty cute overall. And then Vibrava, same reasons, Trapinch. But Bannet, Bennett is like it for some reason. I remember playing on Pokemon Crater, which was like a online Pokemon collection and battle thing.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, I got a team of 6 Bennett's because the game didn't have actual like Pokemon move pools that they could learn. I just got a team of 6 Bennett's that had insane coverage, and I just used those to go into like PvP and shit on kids when I was like 6 or 7 or 8. I don't even remember anymore. And Bennett has just kind of stuck in my head, and it's just a cool Pokemon. I like it. It's got the same vibe as Gengar to it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and overall, I really like how simple its design is for similar reasons as Gengar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fair.
nothing to it there. And then fucking Mega Bennett is just a cool version of it. It's like, have you ever seen Ben 10?
I've seen very few episodes, usually in Spanish when I was in Spain, but
Yeah.
I know a lot about it because I own
Oh, you played Protect Your
5
Earth.
different games, 6 different
Yeah.
games. I really like the
Then
games.
you should know who Ghost Freak is, right?
Yeah, I know Ghost Freak, yeah.
Yeah. So Ghost Freak has the basic form where it's like wrapped up and it can't really do much, and
Yeah.
then it has like the unleashed form, and I feel like Bennett
Yeah.
is base form Ghost Freak, and the mega form looks kind of like
Yeah,
unleashed
kind of
Ghost Freak, and that's
oozing
cool.
then from
Yeah,
in
it's
there.
really cool.
Yeah, that's
I like it a lot.
that's fair. I like, and then I guess for me, I have Mega Rayquaza there for the gimmick form because I mean, Rayquaza is cool. It was never very good. Mega Rayquaza. Okay, now we have the Pokemon that literally, because like for the longest time I was more of a singles player instead of VGC, and Mega Rayquaza is the reason why Anything Goes exists as a tier. And I think that's pretty cool that a Pokemon so powerful was made where it was literally you had a tier for all the banned Pokemon. Like, okay, you can do it, anything here, and you literally had to make a tier because with a format with all banned Pokemon, this Pokemon was too good, which is pretty funny.
That's crazy. That's fucked up.
But I think it's also pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a cool idea in a way. Like, I can't see any other kind of competitive game doing anything like that.
Yeah, but also it is like it's funny how okay, it's a mega evolution, but instead of needing Mega Stone, it just needs to know a move that is also like just the single best physical flying type move in all of Pokemon. So
Fucking hell.
that's cool.
Hmm.
But yeah, shall we go to Gen 4?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So anything catching your eye there?
Right barrier.
Yep.
Yeah. Why?
I like Rhyperior. I don't know. I don't really what the fuck? I don't really remember where it came from, but also this is the gen where I obviously have a lot of bias because this was one of my first video games ever. I got a Nintendo DS. I think when I turned 10, I got a Nintendo DS with a Pokemon Pearl. Like I said, I capped the in-game clock. I do remember I literally, like my main team, I leveled up just organically just by doing random shit in the game by 200 without ever using any rare candies because even as a kid I didn't want to use any consumables ever, and I have very fond memories of Gen 4 in a lot of ways. I think the underground was actually super fun to do, like sometimes getting to do that with friends, like getting to do the robbing your friends' flags was neat. I actually spent a lot of time in Pokemon contests because I just thought that was a cool way to just look at move animations, which I like doing a lot. And yeah, I mean, I do remember one night after a weekend, like I was just playing with my DS in my bed, and at some point I realized it was Monday morning, 7 o'clock, and I literally hadn't slept at all, and I had school, so that was a rough day at school, but fun memories.
I can believe that.
On. Like But yeah, like I don't really know why I like Rhyperior. Maybe it's partly because Polymer, like Taro Tycoon, Polymer, pretty cool character in the anime. But I think Rhyperior in a way is kinda. I think for like I'll talk about Rose Raid as well. Like I think Rose Raid is a really cool. I use a lot of Rose Raid, but like these kind of represent the same thing where Gen 4 was this time when a lot of like older Pokemon now got evolutions. Like I don't have a Mont. I'm not really the biggest Magmortar fan, but I think it's cool still. I like Electivire a lot, but it's not there because, well, we'll talk about Luxray.
Luxray.
But a lot of like mons like that, like even stuff like Gallade being like side grades to stuff like Gardevoir, like a lot of old mons got new evolutions and even new pre-evolutions like Mime Junior or the like Elekid and Magmar even, or like some other babies like what was I thinking?
But Elekid and Magby and Munchlax are Munchlax is Gen 3, but the other two are Gen 2.
Yeah, but yeah,
Pretty
the like also stuff like Bonsly, which I think was Gen 4, being
Oh yeah,
like,
that's Gen 4.
pre-evolutions here, as
Yeah.
well as like Mime Junior. But what else? I don't want to run through everything because it'll be too long. I guess who I actually feel fondly of. Well, I almost always end up having Debach Legendary in my party at some point. I think Palkia is actually really cool. I like it conceptually also a lot. I think the Darkrai movie is probably one of my favorite Pokemon movies all time. Luxray, my favorite electric type of all time. I just think it's super sleek and clean design, and that's like if there's one electric type in the entire game that I would love to have a Mega Evolution for in ZA, like that would be Luxray, because if they made Luxray actually good, that would be sick. Staraptor, my favorite bird in of Pokemon. Gallade is cool because that was like before Mega Mewtwo X, stuff like that. Like that's also why Metagross was cool, because like wait, psychic types that are actually physical. I think that concept was really neat. Kricketune is there just because it holds the best Pokemon cry in the whole franchise. And then there's a lot, like I don't have to explain Garchomp. I don't have to explain Lucario.
Nah.
We'll talk about Lucario and
Yeah.
Darkrai. I really like because it's a movie, but I also think just conceptually it's very cool. But yeah, Rampardos, probably my favorite fossil, if I had to say. I think Rampardos is one of the, I don't know, it just boasts of all Pokemon designs where it's just, okay, there's one thing that this Pokemon does. It's a monotype, and it isn't too fast. It's not too crazy in anything else. Just look at this dumbass fucking attack stat and look at this move with 150 base power and go off.
Bonk. Just bonk.
Yeah, it just bonks hard. But yeah, I mean, a lot of just overall solid designs. I think Gen 4 has a lot of like really good designs, but also really like mediocre designs. But I obviously hold a lot of bias towards it because of it being the generation where I started. But when I just look at like both of our like lists, you can't really see like the designs aren't too bad here. I am curious though, is B Barrel there? Because it's the greatest HM slave to ever exist.
Put some respect on its name. That's a doof. A regular ass Bidoof. And yes, it is.
Okay, that's
because like it's the dumbest looking one. It's got no thoughts going on in that head, but it's so powerful.
I like the sounds.
So useful.
I like the sounds it makes.
I see. I've never heard it. I don't think so. I can't say what it sounds like. So you know.
But yeah, like overall, like a lot of like really cool stuff and great stuff that I can also on your list. I guess the only one I'm a little curious is Miss Magius.
I don't even remember. Oh yeah, Dusknoir is in this. Yeah, I mean, Miss
that's
Magius is just in terms of a design. I think because like I like it when the ghost types are like gremlin-esque, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's
Like I feel like they have the most mischievous designs that you can have. Like Sableye, specifically Mega Sableye, Banette, Gengar, Haunter, Ghastly, all of that. And I really like it when either they follow that or they go really, really far in the opposite direction. Like I always think that Darkrai is a ghost type, and I'm like, Dark is a really cool ghost type. But it's not, it's a dark type. But like Dusknoir is the closest to that. But I think Miss Magius takes it in terms of just being a Pokemon that I resonate with more than Dusknoir.
Talking about Dusknoir and Darkrai, who both I have on my list, and then having neither of those.
Yep. Isn't it funny? Because Spiritomb, again,
108.
I feel like feels.
The magic number. What does it mean?
What does it mean? What do you mean 108?
Wasn't that the?
Wait.
Am I thinking of a
I-
different number? If I just go for Spiritomb,
Wait,
108.
A Pokemon that was formed by 108 spirits. It is bound.
Okay,
oh,
yeah,
I see.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I've never read the lore for Spiritomb. I just think it's like in a similar position as Sableye to me, where I think that it has no weakness, and then I use it in a Nuzlocke, and then I eventually realize that this thing isn't doing as much as I want, and then I just go like, fuck. And that's
This post was made by the pre-fairy type gang.
yeah. Anyhow,
Well,
we didn't talk about Sneasel, but Sneasel is one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. Mobile is very cool, but I prefer Sneasel because it doesn't have the weird hat.
oh, I'm more of a Weeball enjoyer myself, but I think both of them are very cool.
Valid. You're valid.
Any
Anything else?
other highlights you would like to raise from your list?
I mean, Drapion is on here mostly because of the fact that it's carried a few Nuzlocks, but that's about it. None of the other ones are really like anything that noteworthy. Lucario, because it was one of the first Gen 4 Pokemon that we ever saw because of the movie that came out where I think Manaphy is in.
They wanted,
think
they
Mew
wanted
shows up in there.
people to like Lucario, and
Yeah.
people sure did.
And people sure did.
And then fucking furries took over my favorite
No,
Pokemon.
no. Don't worry about that. Okay.
Bastards.
Bastards. Anyhow, I don't think there's anything else I really want to get on Gen 4. I'm not that. Actually, Shaymin. Shaymin EX in, I think it's not Primal Origins, but around there. The one that says when you play it, draw up to 6 cards. Draw until you have 6 cards in hand. That is one of
few
the most
actual
broken cards.
TCG cards that I actually also know.
Yeah, that shit was broken, and I abused the fuck out of it.
Hell
That's about it.
I would like to note both of us having as the ultimate favorite for Gen 4, Lucario.
Well, you have Mega Form Lucario. and
I
have
indeed do, because
Lucario.
adaptability goes crazy, and they just made the design even better because he looks edgier now.
I just like, I had to concede that the rule of cool for Lucario dwarfs any of the other Pokemon in Gen 4 for me.
That's fair.
It's just,
But
it just works.
It does, and I guess final thing before we move on, because it would be doing it a disservice. Obviously, we both have Garchomp. Like,
Yes.
are you kidding me? It's fucking Garchomp.
Bro, I get a Garchomp on my team?
Do you not have Garchomp on your list?
What the fuck are you doing? What else would you have on here?
Shame on you. I'm pointing at everybody not having Garchomp on their
I
list.
mean, Gabby.
Weirdos.
No, Gibble. Gibble is the first stage. That's pretty cool. That's pretty rad. I'll take that one.
That whole evolution line is actually pretty fire. I also like Gabite. But
Gabby's cool.
all of them are neat. I guess let's move on to Gen 5. Everybody's favorite designs, right? Gen 5 always get praise for the designs. Yay.
May I go first?
Yeah, go for it.
Stoutland is here because I didn't know which one to pick.
Yeah,
Volcarona
I
is
do
here
remember
because
I was flaming you for your Stoutland pick.
yeah. Volcarona is
sweet.
here because none of the other fire types I really like. Oshawott is an otter, and otters are peak 10 out of 10 animals. Even though they're a little weird, they're peak animals. Among Us, Electric because it's got no weakness, and then than the Vanilla Ice.
Then,
Yeah, Vanillux.
everybody's favorite. Everybody loves.
Yeah, I don't even remember this Pokemon's name. It's just ice cream.
It's Vanilla Ice, right? 'Cause
Oh,
this is
it's
the-
actually Vanilla Ice.
Wait, it's a middle. No, wait, this is the final evolution. It's Vanillux.
I think so. Okay.
Yeah,
Because
Vanilla Ice.
Vanilla Ice is that's
I
that's
have
kind of
felt the Hulk meme lately though, with like guys, I'm finally starting to forget the names of the Pokemon, and I like. There's one thing
Yeah.
that if there's one thing I need to like hold on to, it's remembering the names of Pokemon.
See, I'm in the position where I don't even know some Pokemon from Gen 5 to Gen 7, and I'm like, this is a Pokemon? Like Grunkle there? He's just a guy.
Crunkle.
Grunkle or something. Yeah, I don't know.
Crunkleland is bad for a day or something.
The
Yeah.
Garbodor. It's one of the best Pokemon to have existed in the TCG.
Yeah.
It's one of the most degenerate like strategies involves turboing out a Garbodor and just having your opponent's items be locked passively.
I'm
It's
so sad that you
fucking
just
annoying.
didn't go on a rant to talk about how awesome it is that we have literal garbage as Pokemon.
I'm gonna be honest. We already have literally garbage's Pokemon, and neither of us had it here. It's called Cum, and it's in the first generation. Look it up, guys.
Yeah, do not Google cum. The Pokemon is called Mach. Do
It's
not
CUM.
Google.
Google it. Then
Sis, if you
Seismitoad.
see this, he's a fucking weirdo. Don't do that.
Then you have Seismitoad. Seismitoad is the
Anyways.
second Pokemon that I played in the TCG with Metagross, and honestly with Shaymin EX and Lugia. Lugia being like a kind of anchor Pokemon. Seismitoad and Metagross being the two that I kind of shifted out to manage my Seismitoad's HP and also to keep locking my opponent out by switching in other Seismitoads because they only need a DCE to be active.
This I would have
Emolga?
definitely asked about because I was like, okay, it's a frog with tumors on it. Why do you like it? But okay,
It's
Accepted.
if you ask Yuto, he's played against that.
okay.
It's toxic as fuck. It's like Garbodor, but a little less annoying. It actually has to do with things. Emolga, Victini, it's a cute one, yeah. Genesect, it's kind of cool.
I was
Then
actually
this guy,
very
this
close
guy's
to,
a fucking loser.
I was very
this
close
next
to
guy.
putting a Victini on my list as well, but it had tough competition in the spots where it would have gone. But yeah,
Yeah, it's Fire Psychic.
yeah,
Genesect is cool.
Then
I like it.
Then
Then the next guy, he's just got Defeatist, right? He's just a fucking loser. He's just like me for you. I don't even know Sarcophagus. I think is his name.
Cophagrus.
Yeah. Haxorus. That's a cool design. It's kind of cool. It's got
It
Mold
is
Breaker. It's
visually
neat. It's neat.
fucking fire design.
Yeah. Zoroark. It's cool. It's like same thing as Lucario. I would argue that like this is here purely because of the fact that Zora and Zoroark were like designs that we saw before Gen 5 came out. Excadrill
movie.
is Giga cool, Giga Strong, and Nuzlocke. I don't even know the name of this Pokemon that comes after Excadrill.
Oh, Whimsicott?
It's just Fluffy. Oh yeah, Whimsicott. Yeah, it's just Giga Fluffy.
It is.
Then Oshawott and fucking Garbodor, Genesect, and Oshawott is top tier because none of the other Pokemon matter in this fucking gen. So you're up now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a lot of reason. I'm trying to think who do I actually have like stronger reasonings because like it's like cool designs or neat Pokemon or the saucy imposters, but I don't have a lot of like what's his face? I don't have a lot of like super affinity for a lot of like mons in this. I think like they're just fun to use, they're cool, and like stuff like Haxorus and Zoroark, they just look really neat. I guess they will have a row of three that I actually could highlight right in the middle in Braviary, which is actually like Braviary I actually really like as a bird. I think it's a really like cool looking bird. I really actually also like the shiny version of it. Like it's pretty close to Staraptor for me, like when it comes to actual like how much I like it as just a regional bird, but Staraptor still takes it for me. But I think Braviary is cool. Then Runiculus, actually one of my favorite psychic types, and like when I think of like psychic types that I actually like Runiculus, one of the first ones always that pops to mind. I think like it's kind of the where I really like I like Life Orb as an item. I think it's cool, and where I really like Sheer Force as an offensive ability, because it's like, okay, you get extra oomph out of Life Orb, but you actually don't lose the life, which is pretty cool. It's kind of the defensive one for Runiclus because of Magic Guard, where it's like, okay, well, you don't take damage from non-direct damage, so you avoid stealth rocks or any sorts of hazards, which are always going to be huge in competitive single battles, and you're able to get a 1.3 times power boost from Life Orb, but you don't take the recoil damage because of Magic Guard, which is really cool. And then Galvantula, which I honestly just culminates to compound ice with thunder and using thunder means that you have basically 100% accurate thunder. I think it ends up being 97% if I'm not mistaken, but basically having a like perfectly accurate thunder on a Pokemon that actually looks also pretty cool. I like the color scheme of it. I like Galvantula, but
I I only know Galvantula, or specifically Joltik, from one thing, and that's the TCG.
okay. Okay.
And
I don't know why I
that
expected it to be these colors while a DLC, because I saw a lot of videos
no,
of Joltik like jumping like 16 feet up in the air, like following
ew, that's
you.
sick. That's sick.
It's awesome.
But no. The main thing is Night March, which is an ability that does the number of 20 times the number of cards that have the same attack,
Mm-hmm.
called Night March, in your graveyard. So basically, you play Battle Compressors, which dumps 3 Pokemon from your deck to the grave, and you play like 4 of those in a turn, and now suddenly you do fucking 240 damage on a 30 HP Joltik that only needs a DCE, double color energy. So it's kind of strong. It's kind of cool.
Okay. Neat.
Also, I have to comment on Bisharp real quick. Bisharp is a really cool design as well. I like Bisharp a lot. The
Yeah.
only reason why it's not on my list is because I think for a Dark, Zoroark is better, and I prefer Excadrill as a Steel type.
Yeah. And that's why my Excadrill is in ground, but you had there the
Yeah.
TCG stuff.
Slash
So, but yeah.
Yeah, and
I
I
think-
wanted Oshawott in water, so.
Yeah, but yeah, I think I do agree. Bishop is very cool. Other than that, like a lot of like similar reasonings to you. Some stuff is just there because it's like, that's cool. Chandler, I really like the shiny also for it. I know you could put shinies in here, but I didn't feel like putting a few because I don't know, it would have been weird, and I don't just like
you can?
Chandler for. I think there was like a toggle where you could like put shiny versions as well. But Chandler definitely like one of my favorite shinies in all of Pokemon. I think like just black and orange just goes together really well. But yeah, my starter of choice is Tepig, just because I started Tepig this generation. I'm a firefighting defender and enjoyer. I think Tepig is
one of
also
those.
cute, so yeah. And then picking between Zekrom and Reshiram for the legend, I slightly prefer Zekrom because of I think the visual design is cooler.
No, I think that's fair.
But the overall favorite, I would have to give it to Haxorus. I think Haxorus, I've also used it in competitive quite a bit in UU, mostly as a Scarfer. I think it works really well, and I think visually just a super clean design. It just looks like a really cool dinosaur, and I've always liked dinosaurs a lot. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that's very fair. I think it's a similar reasoning for why I really like Tyranitar a lot.
Yeah.
It's like cool. It's cool. It's a cool dinosaur.
Yeah. So for Gen 6, so now what you're saying is this is where we sort of lose you. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, if you look at what I have on here, I have Talonflame, Greninja, I have Noivern, Meowstic, and Aegislash and Sylveon as the only actual Pokemon from this generation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that speaks volumes for how much I care about this gen.
I mean, if we look at mine, it is also mostly just Megas, but
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that's just because I don't really like the generation. And instead, like for me, it's because I just think Mega Evolution is the single coolest mechanic that Pokemon has ever added, and I still stand by that. So, but
I think that's fair.
but yeah, I think X and Y are actually like fine to play through. I'm not in the camp that a lot of people seem to be, where it's like the new XP tier is dog shit. I never really enjoyed grinding in Pokemon games anyway, so I would rather have it be like smooth sailing and I can grind if I want to, like level up a different team. But I like the smooth experience and being just able to experience the story for just going and walking through everything. But anything you want to specifically say about the additions on your list?
Talonflame is in my mind. Like originally, I used to think that Char was really cool because it's like, oh, he's a fire, he's a dragon that shoots fire, but then he was a flying type.
Mm-hmm.
He was a fucking flying type. That's cringe. What do you mean you're a dragon, but you're not a dragon? Yo, bro, fuck off. Then eventually, when I played, I don't. I think it was no, I don't remember which one I played. Either Sun, Moon, or Scarlet Violet.
Mm-hmm.
But I ended up getting Talonflame at some point. I was like, this is really cool. This Pokemon is sick. And I also eventually heard that it was even better. Like where you could just fucking spam Brave Bird and fucking anything else.
Gale Wings.
Man, the Gale Wings sounds so sick. I wish I could have that now. And that's why I think it deserves to be where it is. Because it's like, I don't have Charizard on here because I just think Talonflame is honestly a cooler fire flying Pokemon than Charizard. So,
but
unfortunate.
Yeah, but
nothing else really to add. Like everything else here has already been on here, or a version of it has been on here already.
Yeah,
like,
that's fair. Anything stick out from my for number 6? Because I can imagine a few of those might be like a bit of a raised eyebrow. Where
I mean,
when I'm looking at 3 of them specifically myself, but obviously I know my reasoning. So
water,
yep,
poison, and ground are the ones that make me go like, what the fuck?
Okay, I didn't expect the poison one. I would have expected you to question Malamar, but yeah, Dragalge. We can start with that. And the poison one, I don't know. It looks like if you just scaled it up, it looks like a monster that would be a monster hunter in the Coral Highlands, and I think it would be actually pretty cool. I think the design is actually pretty solid, and it has a lot of coverage. It's pretty fun to use as a result, so that's why I like Dragalge. Water, Cloyster is there literally because I like the ability. I think the ability is actually really fucking cool. It literally just being like, hey, you basically get extra coverage, extra stab moves in forms of coverage when it comes to power if you use like specifically these moves. It's like I think there's something cool about like, okay, this specifically raises the power of these 4 moves that exist in this video game, which is like, bro, they made an ability to boost 4 moves, which is silly.
That's sick.
That's obviously you could have run. Okay, sometimes I did when I actually wanted to win, but like it was almost always like my Cloyster was always there with an Assault Vest, and it was Dark Pulse, Aura Sphere, Water Pulse, and then if I was feeling like I wanted to me more, then it was obvious Dragon Pulse to have the full Fantastic Four, and if I wanted to win slightly more, then it was Ice Beam, because too good of a coverage move to skip. But it's mostly there because I thought the ability was super cool. And then I think Diggersby has the most interesting, funny backstory. So I'll just talk about Malamar and Psyche because I feel like that's one that is slightly more unconventional. So I'll talk about it. And it just, once again, like this very simple interaction of like, hey, instead when you're lowering your stats, you're raising them. So superpower, instead of being a move that lowers your stats, is now, hey, you're getting a bulk up every time you use it, in addition to dealing a lot of damage, which I found really cool.
Interesting.
But
yeah, that seems pretty cool. Yeah.
Diggersby, though. And before I say anything else, if you get that reference, number 1, you're definitely at least in your mid-20s. And shout out to you. You were watching some good YouTube videos back in Generation 6. I have very a few times used Diggersby myself, but I used to watch a lot of Pokemon stuff on YouTube, specifically Pokemon Wi-Fi free-for-alls, which was just a random format that a bunch of these YouTubers came up with, and a YouTuber called Duncan Knee Deep, I want to say. Hopefully he's not cancelled, because I don't know anything but he does these.
Doesn't matter.
So
Doesn't matter what his current situation. You only know him from
if he's cancelled, then my bad.
Shit.
But I don't know. Or if he's even a he at this point, I don't know anything. I'm talking from the perspective I watched this dude and his friends way back in the day. Like, he did a lot of these like FFAs with other people, and he even made a program which was like a roulette, where basically it just, like, these people, they used to do roulette FFAs a lot, where they would basically just spin a roulette, it would randomize a team of Pokemon and some modifiers for all of them to use. They would use some of the cheating applications to just make those Pokemon immediately, and then they would just banter while they do a free-for-all of that, where obviously everyone just had 3 Pokemon then, because otherwise it would be a double battle, but they would just treat it like a FFA. And I remember there was an episode with Diggersby in it where I can't remember if it was Duncan or if it was Shofu, probably more people, if they know, like, they're gonna know Shofu. Like, I just remember them, like, constantly when they were referring to, like, they just referred it to as just, okay, but Diggersby though, or Diggersby had anything, it was just Diggersby though, and it was just a dumb phrase. I don't remember if there was any real meaning behind it, but it just stuck to my brain, and I still remember it today, so yeah. That's a deep cut.
Oh, yeah. That's a deep cut, yeah. I mean, to be fair, there's a bunch of phrases that keep coming up in my head randomly that are like from YouTube videos that I saw when I was 11 or 12.
Yeah.
Or like 15 or 16. It's fucking hell.
Mm.
So I can totally get that. Like, if there were any Pokemon related to these quotes, they would definitely be on it.
Yeah. But yeah, shout out to Pokemon FFAs back in the day. I don't think people really do them anymore. I know Callum did them at some point a little bit, but I think the trend is dead. But it was a funny and fun period in time. But yeah, other than that, a bunch of just megas that I really like, and Yveltal is very cool. We both have Greninja in there, we both have Aegislash in there, we both have Sylveon in there. Probably don't have to explain those.
Yeah.
Just clean Pokemon designs. And the ultimate favorite for you, Talonflame, and for me it is Mega Blaziken. Like I said, I like Blaziken. I think Mega Blaziken is just a strict improvement over regular Blaziken, both in terms of gameplay, but also especially in visuals.
Yeah, this was when they decided that they were no longer making Pokemon, and they decided to make a burst mode for Blaziken.
Yeah. And if you're making stuff cool, it is fine to steal. So kids,
yeah,
definitely steal.
Steal from Digimon specifically, because Digimon has done a bunch of cool things, guys. Keep that in mind.
Yeah. But,
people only come around to it once the Pokemon steals, and then they're like, "Whoa, Pokemon is so cool!" And it's like, "Well, I've had this in Digimon for fucking longer than you've been alive, kid."
Okay.
Fuck.
All right, let's move on to Generation 7 now.
Oh, me first.
Yeah, go for it, man.
It's a toucan, and it's a cannon. It's a can. This fucking bug killed me in my Nuzlocke. It's an owl, and he's round. The Pikachu ate a lot of pancakes and became a Psychic-type Raichu. Alola Ninetales looks pretty cool. Pun intended. Marshadow is a little guy.
It's so hard to not say Marshtomp. I don't know why.
Yeah. Alolan is
Stop
poison dark. And it's pretty good for a muck. Although I heard rumors that muck is now viable, even in regular muck form, which is cool. Good on you, muck.
You deserve to get shot for this flying pig, by the way.
But
first,
for what? The dog. Yeah, that's a dog.
This
Then this
flying
guy that look.
dude.
this,
This is the universally like okay. Did you do this on purpose? Did you know that this is universally by far the most hated starter form of any Pokemon that has ever existed?
Why?
Okay, so I literally thought you did this on purpose because you knew that everybody hated Dartrix.
Okay. What? Wait.
Yeah, genuinely,
What's the
everybody
lore?
I don't know what other lore I can tell you other than like if you were the poll, every single person on this earth right this instant on their favorite starter first stage, Rowlet would be in the top 3.
Pretty far ahead. Yeah. Oshawa,
And
Rowlet, and someone else.
if you look at the third stages also, like Decidueye, most people would say it looks really cool.
Yeah, it's the
And
new
then
Greninja, pretty much.
Dartrix is just this goofy, stupid looking ass, pompous looking ass. I don't even know how to describe it. And I think I can see why people dislike it.
I put it there because none of the other ones were Pokemon that I've ever seen, I think.
Okay.
And then
Anyways,
Oranguru, it draws up to 3 cards in my hand. Once per turn.
moving on.
He
Glycopod
killed
again.
me. Yeah, he killed me.
Yeah.
That's a dog.
Rockruff. It looks
Kinda
like
pet
our
that
family
dog.
dog, so I think it's very cute.
Yeah, kind of pet that dog. Mimikyu, it's cute. I don't think there were any other dragon types. I had that Pokemon in my team.
Como or
Togedemaru.
Incineroar? Which one? Okay, so Incineroar you had in your team. Okay,
Yeah.
yep. I heard it's pretty
Togedemaru.
good in VGT.
Okay. Togedemaru is a fun word to say because it's just
That
they
is
fucking took the Japanese name and they just left it.
I can't.
Mimikyu again.
Why do you put like soft Mimikyu in Fairy and hard Mimikyu in Ghost and not the other way around?
Ghost is for hard. Fairy is for soft little babies who like playing with their dollies.
Yeah.
Me.
Then there's Litten.
And then there's Cat. And then there's Alolan Raichu again. And then there's Marshadow. And then there's Cat.
Okay. And your favorite is Cat, which
My
name
favorite is
you
Cat.
probably didn't even know until I said it just now.
It's Litten, yeah. It's
Yeah.
Shitten, yeah. I do know it. It's because it's just fucking Cat Fire. Fire Cat. Ember Cat. Cat
Right.
Ember.
Comment
Meowber,
section.
and Meowber.
Weed Cat or Fire Cat, who would win?
Okay, bro. Meowber would have been perfect. Come on, man. Just add an O there and then it's perfect. But no, it's gotta be Litten. Cause what the?
Because
Anyhow,
it's lit, fam.
I'm about to
And also,
cry.
yeah. Well, for me, Silvally, I mean, it just Arceus' son. Alola Marowak. Once again, it's a. They made Marowak.
Wait, he's what now?
What?
Wait, who's Arceus' son? What the fuck?
Silvally is essentially it's meant to be kind of to represent Arceus. He has this that you can give him that changes types and change the type of a move that he has. So yeah, it's a knockoff Arceus. But yeah, Alola Marowak, they made Marowak, which is my favorite ground type from Gen 1, actually good now. They made the design cooler. It's a ghost fire type, which is a cool typing. Has Rock Head, access for Flare Blitz, Shadow Bone is a good move. It's just a good Pokemon now. Wishy-Washy is funny, and I think it's pretty cool. Kartana is cool. Kartana I most like for the competitive viability, but also it just being an origami, it's pretty neat.
What the fuck?
Zero?
I don't even know what this Pokemon is.
Yeah. Zero looks cool. It's like a kind of fighting type esque electric type, which I really like. Okay, story time. Alola Sandslash. Pokemon Masters, the Pokemon Gacha game for mobile. I tried to get Summer Steven, who has Alola Sandslash for such a long time. I couldn't get that shit. Like, I'm not putting extra money into this game. And then, like, finally, I gave up when his banner came around. I ran out of money, gems in the middle of summoning on it. And the final multi I did on that with my final jimmies, I got a different physical ice type attacker in Hala and Crabonibal. Bonnie. Crabominable. Okay.
Give
Hala
up.
and crab.
The crab
fucking
one.
ugly crab. It is
Yeah, the
crab.
crab.
It's like Ebonimo.
Crab, but not bad.
Blah. But yeah, I got that and I gave up, and now his power crab anyway, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, I also think it looks cool. Marshadow here as well in the battle form though. He has cool hood now. Naganalel, I don't know, it's just cool. And then we have. Wait, what's this in Gen Sub? Wait, did we not have perfect form or complete form in Gen 6? I guess I didn't.
Zygarde?
For Zygarde, yeah. Zygarde 100%. Did we not have that?
No,
in
I have
6?
it in Gen 6, so... Actually,
Well,
I have it in... Yeah, in
Yeah, I
Gen
don't
6.
know why we even got it here. No, it was because colors. Yeah, never mind. Because Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. That's right. And yeah, that's why I didn't have it as my favorite legend for 6, because it's here. That's what I was wondering. Best Oricorio form is the Flamenco one. Solgaleo's here. I like him slightly more than Lunala, so Solgaleo gets picked for this one, and then for legend it's Lunala, but I actually like both of them a lot. I think they're a really cool like box legendary pair. But here it's cool. I have midnight. Yeah, no, Dolmain, Dustmain, midday. I don't remember which. It's something. It's the special form of Lycanroc, and it's cool.
Okay.
Then the Decidueye is there. Yep. Then we have Ash Greninja, because they made Greninja and made it cooler. It's just like
Except it's Ash, so it's cringe.
it's cooler. Then
This is before Ash became cool, okay?
I actually like if I were to watch, I think like the Talos and stuff like that would be cool to watch the anime because of Ash Greninja, because I think that's fucking sick. Then we have the Giga Chat that is Melmetal, who just punches people.
That's cool.
It's just funny, and it came so
Respectable.
out of nowhere. Mimikyu, obviously, like you, I don't have to explain why Mimikyu is great, and then Rowlet, obviously,
Fine.
best roundest boy, Rowlet, and then Ultra Necrozma, because it fucking the sun that burns my eyes or whatever the Zemo was. I think Wolfie called it something like that, the sun that burns my eyes, in one of his videos, and that was so fucking funny. And I remember it since. But the craziest Z move ever made to burn level 13 Wingulls for whatever reason. But yeah, like Asgore Ninja up there, and Loki Gen 7 holds a special place in my heart. Obviously, last generation before the Dexit. Generation 7 was easily when I played the most competitive Pokemon. Well, I say competitive, I'll talk about like competitive singles on Smogon. But like having access to both Megas and Z moves still was really cool. And I think we actually also got a lot of neat stuff here. I don't have any of the Tapus here. I like the Tapus, but like none of them just like edge it out for me. But I actually like the Tapus conceptually. But yeah. Any thoughts, since you probably have questions?
I've not beat the
about it?
game yet. I've owned Pokemon for like 7 years, and I have not beat the game yet.
Is there a reason you just don't vibe with it?
It's I hit the rival fight. The guy with the edgy hair that has that Pokemon that you have in your normal slot shows up, and it's like, I'm gonna fight you, and I'm like, okay, sure, whatever, kid. And then I'm like, oh, Pokemon are like severely underleveled right now. Holy shit, why did that happen? And then I remember I've never fought like any optional battles in the entire game, and I just sigh. And then I think to myself, I guess I gotta level something up, and then I try to find a way to level up, and it turns out there's no good way to do that. Then I'm like, fuck, whatever. And I still haven't finished it.
Cool. And
Yippee!
Anyway, shall we move on to?
Yeah.
All right. So, would you like to tell us about Generation 8 Jeexx?
So Generation 8, I have not played Generation 8 at all, and I most likely never will. Hisuian Zoroark is kind of cool. Hisuian Typhlosion is kind of cool. The starters are kind of cool. Fat Pikachu, 10 out of 10. Snub, I don't
Snub?
know how it's, but like this thing is, I've seen a bunch of gifs of it just like hopping around, and that's cool.
It's adorable.
Surfetched, yeah, Surfetched is good. That's a good design, 10 out of 10. Then this
The
fucking
literal
depressed looking
diaper
guy,
baby.
the literal depressed diaper baby. He's just like me for real.
Wearing diaper. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
well,
no,
we're moving
that's not what I'm
right
implying.
along. Yep. Talk about-
Ursaluna, that thing is apparently fucking cursed, and I think it's cool that there's a new evolution for Teddy Ursa. And then Rooknite, Corviknight.
Yeah.
Corviknight is cool. This thing can apparently show you the heat death of the universe. I think that's cool. Then this bug guy again, because he's cool. Then Growlithe, but it's got a rock on its head. Hell yeah.
Yep, then-
Teacup,
A cup of tea. Yes. Awesome.
a cup of tea, yeah. And then the spooky little Durgan. And
Dreepy.
the Vitun Haisuli. Fucking Gremlin. And then Haisuli again.
You're literally moving characters. Yep.
Two again.
And then
Banging.
some ice cream.
Oni's favorite.
Okay.
That's what's here. Yeah, then his
Then,
Typhlosion is in the starter slot.
Yeah, the
and
dude who
Zoroark
got
is...
blamed for
Don't.
doing sexual
No.
crimes. They didn't do. They were proven to be innocent. It was a bunch of mistranslations. So, yeah,
Thank God. And then favorite Pokemon is obviously Haisuli number dos.
yeah, it's Berserker, I think. The name.
Berserker, yeah.
Yeah.
You're up.
All right. Okay. I guess because I don't have a lot of a lot of these. So, is there anything you're actually interested in here? Because Scarlet and not Scarlet and Violet. I'm already throwing shade.
Sword and Shield.
The Sword and Shield was Dexits and Dynamax being completely insane. Insanely broken in singles was kind of why I was not into this game for such a long time, and it's kind of a shame because I only got into it I think the last few months of its life cycle when I started really watching. I had always watched Wolfie stuff, but I started really watching Wolfie stuff, and I actually have Sword and Shield to thank for getting me into VGC because I think Dynamax was genuinely the best generational mechanic for VGC and 2v2s, and I'm sad that I didn't get into it earlier and didn't have more formats to play VGC in that game. But is there anything?
Is this
Yeah.
is this why you have the most broken Pokemon on here out of all the gens? Because I'm pretty sure this fucking guy in I think that's water. Yeah, that's water. This water guy, this water fucking dog dude, and this dude in the ice category, and I don't know about the guy in the ghost category, but I think all those are Giga strong, right?
Yeah, the ghost is also Giga broken. It's not just that. I don't think I do. I used a little bit of Glacier and a little bit of Spectrier, I think, as Dynamax attackers, but I don't know or remember if I actually used either Calyx forms at all, and I definitely didn't use. Okay, now, guys, I'm forgetting the names of the Pokemon, guys. It's also such a iconic mon. It's Ursa, not Ursa. It's rapid style and something else style.
I don't know. I just know that this Pokemon is broken.
It's something with bear and it has shoo. If I just rapid style, I'm gonna Urshifu. That's the name. Yeah, I was Shifu
I see.
and something with bear was what I remember. But yeah, Urshifu.
I thought you were thinking about some specific like type or ability or
Oh
whatever
no
the
no no
fuck
no
version
no.
of that. Okay, yeah, I could have told you to Urshifu, my
Yeah,
bad.
both of them have Unseen Fist, which just means their moves can't be protected against, which obviously is really good in VGC. But no, I
Why
I think like
Weebfox?
overall, well, you say I have like the most broken Pokemon here. Well, newsflash to you when you're not as to the like newest generations. Welcome to Dexit, and also welcome to the start of the craziest power creep ever in Pokemon. That's also why I
Yeah.
liked Generation 7. I think up until like when you go from Gen 1 to Gen 7, you don't really have a clear like okay, this generation is so much better than the early one when it comes to power. When you go from Generation 7 to Generation 8, it's clear that we are now power creeping. Urshifu is insane. The Calyrex forms are insane. Well, we'll get to the box art legendaries. The uh basic Pokemon as well. Like Regieleki is not on this for on this list, but Regieleki made any other Regieleki and Dragapult made any previous like Pokemon that were considered fast. Now they didn't matter. Like in the past, like okay, Garchomp is good because it's 102 base speed, which is faster than 100, which is the common breakpoint. Well, now we have a Dragapult who is 142, I think. So it's like okay, well, so fuck everything else, I guess. And then it's Regieleki, which is like okay, I think its space speed is 212, if I'm not mistaken. Which was at that point they're just like, all right, well, fuck everything, nothing else matters. But okay, the Pokemon also gets an ability where all of its electric moves are boosted, and it doesn't really learn anything else. It doesn't matter. It gets screens. It's the fastest Pokemon that will ever exist in this video game. Who is Deoxys Speed even? Don't know him. It gets a spread move that lowers your opponent's speed. It's all the speed control that you'll ever need, and it kind of broke everything. So Gen 8 is like when Pokemon started power creeping, and when we get to Gen 9, well, it's fucking insane. But a lot of broken stuff here, because a lot of broken stuff came out in this generation. Also some stuff here, obviously from Arceus, like the Hisuian Decidueye, which that's posted there for Pokemon Masters again. Like, I don't know why they made Decidueye and Ray so fucking broken in Pokemon Masters, but also I think it's cool. And its signature move hits 3 times, has a chance to flinch the opponent, and has a chance to lower their defense. And I think has a high crit rate. I don't know what they didn't give it, but for whatever reason they were like, all right, sure. Like Hisuian Zoroark here as well. Hisuian Arcanine. They gave Arcanine a... But okay, Hisuian Arcanine I actually want to talk about, because I think I might have talked about these before, at least to you. If I say like my 2 most wanted Mega Evolutions of all time, does that say anything to you?
I don't know for sure right now. I'm thinking like, I think Arcanine has come up before in conversation, but I don't remember
Okay,
what context
it
right now.
might be that I mixing it to something else, or maybe I've talked about this on my stream. But one of the 2 my most wanted Mega Evolutions of all time is Mega Rapidash. I conceptualized the like Mega Rapidash's Mega Evolution literally 10 years ago at this point, 8 years ago. 2016, 8 years ago at this point. And that design was a fire rock type that gets rock head and gets recoil moves. And Mega Arcanine, now I'm saying it. Hisuian Arcanine is literally cookie cutter 1-for-1 what I designed from everything else except for the like visual perspective, obviously, because it's an Arcanine, not a Rapidash, that Mega Rapidash would be. So I didn't exactly get what I wanted, but it's basically I made this Pokemon 8 years ago.
Yes.
And
You made this Pokemon.
and it's even being like Arcanine, which is obviously one of my favorite, maybe my favorite fire type of all time, is so funny because it's crazy like how literally like kit wise how 1-for-1 it is how I conceptualized Mega Rapidus to be all those years ago. So that's pretty cool. I like the Cantonian birds. They made them cooler, so that's why I like the Galarian birds. Runagrigus is cool. Gmax, Venusaur is broken. Phalanx is funny. I think the it's not Arctovish, Dracovish is Dracozolt. Dracozolt is my favorite fossil from this generation. I think it's the funniest looking. Cinderace is cool. Frostmoth just looks neat, and I mean Dragon Ball broke the game, and there. I think the like Hopperage just looks cool. It like just them just making a Jade Elephant as a Steel type. I think that's pretty neat. How the Galarian Darmanitan having literally Choice Band as its ability, I think is pretty cool. And
Guerrilla tactics.
yeah, and then to address the dog in the room,
The dog.
the dog.
The dog.
God. Zacian was like for all those years since I got my first Pokemon game, which was Pokemon Pearl. Like Palkia had been my favorite legendary, and Zacian is what finally broke that, and Zacian became my favorite legendary of all time in Pokemon. It looks fucking phenomenal. I got chills when you haven't played this game.
No, I haven't played this game.
Are you gonna play this game? Is there even a percent chance you're gonna play this game?
It's a Pokemon game. Are you gonna tell me that it was so cool when N swooped down and was like, I'm saving you, protagonist-kun, because I am N, and I was in the first game, and I am N, and I am
in
cool.
the final battle, like when the dog showed up and the music started playing, which I'm pretty sure was also done by Toby Fox. It's one of the few tracks that he did for the game. I got chills, and the song is a fucking banger. And Dark Souls is the reason why I have a YouTube channel. And this Pokemon is Sif. They made a wolf and gave it a sword that it holds in his mouth. It's Sif. It is 100% inspired by Sif. You cannot tell me otherwise. It's one of the most broken Pokemon of all time. It is the second Pokemon ever admitted to Anything Goes, the tier which Mega Rayquaza made, because it was so fucking broken. I'm kind of sad that they actually nerfed it to not be so broken anymore, because Zacian deserved it, because he's a good boy. He deserved to be broken. But it's a really fucking cool Pokemon that is also fucking insane, because it's a Steel Fairy type with some of the best stats ever, one of the greatest abilities ever in Pokemon, and also has good coverage. And to anyone who got Pokemon Shield back then instead of Sword, you're crazy. But I guess you got favored now later, so that's cool. So yeah, I guess that's stuff about the Generation 8. Yippee!
Yippee!
So
Gen 9?
Gen 9, baby.
Wee boy. I shall go first if that is okay.
Yeah, that is perfectly fine.
Lechonk.
Yeah.
That is all. Mega Man. Mega Man 1. Like red, yellow Mega Man. It's kind of cool. I really like the Battle Network designs being implemented into this. Thank you, Sumo, or whoever the fuck did that. Weed Cat, punching Pikachu. Iron Hands. I like this one.
Why are there multiple ones where you don't have any picks?
Because I'm gonna be honest. Every single Pokemon in that was absolutely shit. Any pick from Dan was demerit to anything else.
And
So
this
that's
coming
why.
from the person who picked and put stuff like Boba Fett and Alakazam on his
Yeah.
list. Like, we got to
Yeah.
keep that in mind. But yeah,
We
go
have to
on.
keep that in mind. Well, then ice types. I was like, well, I'm not gonna put a legendary there unless I really have to, like a mythical or legendary. So I didn't pick anything.
Mhm.
Iron Hands, as I said, it was really useful for the raid battles. I used it at punch. I used it for a bunch of things to begin with, like
You
just
watched the
drain punching with this.
Weebfox Pokemon 10 Pokemon that will clear every raid in the game
Did I?
video? Hell yeah.
Yeah, I watched that. Yeah. Clodsire. Clodsire, by the way.
Cloudfire is a
fucking-
friend. You gotta have
He's
at
a friend.
least two of them on
Hell
your
yeah.
list next to each other.
At
'cause
least
they
two.
keep company. So
Yes.
yeah. And then
Actually, three,
what's
but-
the name of this Pokemon?
It's something Juggalo. Yeah.
How do you forget the Iron, which
Is it Iron Juggler?
it's Iron Juggless, but
It's
all of the future Paradox Pokemon in the base game are called
Yeah.
Iron something.
like that's the thing that I wasn't like exactly forgetting. I was just thinking like it's Iron, not Iron Thorn. It's Iron Juggalo, but like Juggalo is fucking. Do you know the
Juggless,
insane
but-
clown posse?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
yeah. And then we have Mega Man again.
Mm-hmm.
There was no good bug types in this generation. in
Okay,
my opinion.
I think Big Moth is Big Moth.
Yeah, big Biff Mog. Then we have Tyranitar, but worse. Then we have Edgy Mega Man.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Then we have Koraidon, which is like the
Yeah.
only good dragon type in this gen, in my opinion. King Gambit, because Bisharp couldn't be here.
Mm-hmm.
Tangatong is second.
Um,
Hammer!
I love Tinkaton.
Tinkaton, 10 out of 10. Iron Valley, I think,
Yes.
as a Gundam. Skeledirge, 10 out of 10, love that. Wooper, because I didn't want to put Clodsire here as well, and because Pooper deserves some merit, okay?
He sure is
And
a
then-
pooper.
He sure is a pooper. And then the fucking Saber Cat, and then Clodsire.
Champa, yeah. So basically, what you're saying, it's a Clodsire sweep.
It's a Clodsire.
Okay, now
I don't think
how
there's
many
any
of these
other-
Pokemon
yeah.
do you actually feel anything about? Except for
I like
Clodsire.
them. I like the Mega Mans, and I liked Tinkaton, and I like Skeledirge.
Okay.
And then it was Iron Hands is a Giga Carry. That's
Okay.
about it. Like in the actual Scarlet and Violet save that I have Clodsire and Tinkaton and Skeledirge in my actual team. So
Okay.
like the one that I played the game through with.
Cool. So yeah, for me, not a lot. I don't feel like going through all of this because I don't have since okay. I think Scarlet and Violet, generational mechanic, literally I think the worst one we have
Worst.
had thus far. I do not like
We-
terrestrialization. I think it's so boring. Like you can do a lot with it, obviously, and it's fucking broken. I think it's so boring, and I do not like it. I like not at all. And like being like having to farm for the terror shards, like fucking hell, dude.
Yeah.
The game ran like some ass, but I will say, the story, I think, the best story Pokemon has had. I have not played the DLCs yet. I am thinking of probably buying them finally when I go to my family for the holidays and playing through them there. That is my plan. Because they actually have
yeah.
some really, really cool character designs in them, and I've heard good things.
Oh yeah,
So,
definitely. I think they have some of the best character designs in the entire franchise.
you sounded like something that you didn't mean, but we're gonna move right along.
No, I'm legitimately being completely sincere when I say that.
Oh, okay.
We've even spoken about this on stream, and I've pointed out how strange it is that Pokemon fans are the way they are when Game Freak is trying to make sure that Pokemon fans are not the way that they are.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
all I'll say here is I think I can say that the design is good or looks cool or cute without being a gooner. But Also, the rivals, big sister in the first DLC is
Huh?
pretty hot.
Hmm?
But okay,
Huh?
so I think Mouse Hall, just conceptually, I mean, it's fucking awesome. It's a bunch of mice, and then they start a family. Like, that's fucking sick. And then when you encounter them, they just fucking shout. Bro! The fucking animation when they're shouting is funny as hell. Skeledirge, very cool. I just said I wasn't gonna go through everything. Well, fuck Superman, fuck everything, fuck the ogre.
Oh,
The Cloud is okay. I didn't mean it like that. It's just like Raikou, but long nose version. Then Quan Chi and the 7 rings in hand or something. No, Shimpa is cool, but they also made Weavile obsolete, which is kind of fucked up. Palmon is sick. It's just Punchy Pikachu, like you said. Clodsire is a friend, and if you don't have
Friend.
Clodsire on your list, you're a terrorist, and you will be shot.
it's over for you.
And the Cloud Nation will get you. Donphan, but they made it cooler. Flamigo, I mean, it's... Why am I talking about it? A bunch of this shit doesn't matter. Armor is actually pretty cool, like sending Cerulege, like your Mega Mans are actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think Logix is also neat. Then they just put fucking Donkey Kong in and just made it broken. So it's okay, fucking cool. Miraidon is here because we have Koraidon and someone else we'll talk about. Their Roaring Moon. They actually made new Salamence pretty cool. Then what the fuck was the name of this thing? I don't remember, but they gave another mon that I actually can't remember now. Fuck, Duraludon, yeah. They gave it a evolution and made it fucking broken, that's pretty cool. Tickets on actually super cool. I also like the making like Taurus a little bit better. I'm a Taurus fan, as you can see from Gen 1, and Koraidon.
Koraidon sweep.
It sucks that immediately after my new favorite legendary got replaced to be Zacian, then they come out with Koraidon, but now you're with your legendary throughout the entire game. Like I said, the game has, in my opinion, the best story that a Pokemon game has had thus far. Really high barrier, I know. Super high bar. But kind of unfair, because obviously you could give it so much more personality. There's more, because there's more time you spend with it. But it's fucking cool. And also like enabling the other Paradox Pokemon to be like using your legendary also as a means of transportation. It also just looks fucking cool. Koraidon is the goat.
And the story at the end,
Yeah.
where you're completely fucked and you literally cannot summon anything else because all of your Pokeballs are kaput. That's how you do it.
Hell yeah.
That's how
Everybody knew it was gonna happen when that happened, but it was
Obvious.
still cool as fuck. So
But it's like that's exactly why it's a good moment because you're
Yeah.
like, wait, I have one more. I know what I'm gonna do,
my
and then you do it.
fucking bicycle, baby.
Hell yeah!
Hell yeah. Well, I think we don't need to talk about the favorites of the favorites, because I think limiting it to talking about like one anywhere is kind of fucked up. I mean, it's still easy for me to pick like my favorite of all. It is still Lucario, and it's easy. Was Scizor an easy pick for you?
Like it was between Alakazam or Scizor and Bennett, pretty much. That was like the spread. Like there were others like I would argue that Sneasel has a shot as well, like a high shot actually. Sneasel is a really cool Pokemon that I like a lot. It's one of the first two Gen 2 Pokemons that I ever saw, and like the card was really cool. And at the end of the day, Scizor was the one Pokemon that I remember seeing in the like Gen 2 openings. What the fuck is that? I want that! And then I eventually got it, and I never knew how to really utilize it, and I was fucking stupid. Like I was like fucking 7 or something, and yeah. But I think at the end of the day, Scizor is the one Pokemon that, alongside Alakazam and Banette, that I will try to get in my team if it's in the game, unless I'm specifically voting. Yeah.
Cool.
So I would say that it was a fairly easy pick.
Okay. And yeah, well, let's leave the team as the very last thing. So the favorite gimmick stuff, regional bird, you have Tailo, I have
Tailo, yeah.
Starly. You
Swallow's
didn't
cool.
even have a Beeberl as your favorite regional mammal?
Nope. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Bidoof is cool, but like the Zigzagoon, that's
Galarian
cooler,
60,
you know?
yeah. Yeah,
Like
it's
Galarian
fair.
Zigzagoon is like already pretty fucking big peak, and then you just make it better. Yeah.
And then you have
Hell yeah.
Spinarak here, where I picked the pre-evolution to the greatest musical concerto we have ever witnessed.
Mhm.
In Kricketot, our favorite Bud spammer.
Hell yeah.
And then Tyranitar for favorite pseudo legend.
I think we already discussed quite a bit about Larvitar, and I think that carries over. I've
Yeah.
never had an opportunity to properly utilize Tyranitar in any game because it feels like you never get a chance to. I think Scarlet and Violet was the first time that I had the chance to do so, but I couldn't really make a working comp with Sandstorm, so I just kind of give up on it.
Mm-hmm. Palmot for favorite Pikachu clone.
Key Punch.
That is true. And
Must-
then, yeah, you already talked about Umbreon here. And for me,
Yep.
you know, girly boss, Sylveon. I love Sylveon. She's great.
Yep.
Rampardos, Capitops, yeah. Regional for
Top
me.
is pretty cool.
Yeah, I'll give it up. Hisuian Zorua. Interesting.
Yep.
Did
I
you
think it's a cool
play
design.
Arceus all the way through?
Nope. I
Okay.
have not played Arceus at all. I just think
Oh,
his and Zoro is just really cool.
yeah.
Like out of all the regional forms that I didn't already like pick for something, I think this one is probably the best one.
Yeah, but yeah, I haven't played through it completely yet myself, but it's really fun.
Yeah.
Fat Eevee, very good pick.
Giga
I just went okay. I don't really have affinity to any Gmax form specifically, so I think this one is the most broken. So let's go for that one. Then favorite baby, you know, Raoul evolves into my favorite Pokemon of all time.
Makes sense. I don't even know which Pichu this is supposed to be, but I like the 3 notches, so I picked that one.
Yeah, it's a Smash render. So
Oh,
thank you for picking the literally not even in any Pokemon game version, and picking the Smash picture skin, while
I
always
hate it.
talking Smash.
I hate it.
Good job. Anyways,
I
yeah,
fucking
because
hate it.
Pokemon is Pokemon Emerald your favorite Pokemon game?
It's the one that I probably played the most, so I would argue yes, purely
Okay.
based off of the fact that it's the one that I've spent the most time in.
Yep, and then here I could cheat because, you know, Koraidon could be put into my favorite paradox, so that's why we have Zacian here. Although, like, if I had to compare the two, it would be like 51-49 in Koraidon's favor. So, but I have that there little Deoxys here. Okay, I'll give it up.
Yeah.
And
I don't have any Ultra Beasts. I've never played. I never seen Ultra Beasts in Moon. I'm pretty sure.
yeah,
so.
like Hearthstone is by far my favorite, like both in terms of usability, and I also think the design is actually pretty neat. But yeah, for my mythical, like I have Marshadow because of the story eBay stuff, and Paradox, your carry,
Iron Hands.
obviously I have.
The hands, yeah.
And then finally we have something common, Steel type.
I mean, I think Steel type is just the coolest one.
What would be
Like it's just got the coolest type, the coolest Pokemon.
Would it be easier for you to do a top 3?
It's probably Steel, Ghost, and Dark, or
Okay,
Steel,
yeah.
Ghost, and Psychic, depending on the day.
Okay.
And then Ground and Rock are pretty high as well. I think there's some really cool Ground and Rock Pokemon.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, like for me, it's like fighting and steel depends on the day you ask me, but I mean, I guess it's relatively easy. Could you guess what would be my third?
Fire.
Fire would actually be fourth.
Okay. What is third?
Dragon would be number 3 for me.
Okay.
But it's like I think that like those 4 have like pretty much always been like at the tippity top. Like Fire and Dragon, Fighting, Steel, all of them just have so many Pokemon that I really like. And then Dust Ball, and I wanted to put Quick Ball here just because it's the one that I use the most, but that's why like I just fucking hate it. I like Dust Balls as well, but it's like if all of my balls had 100% capture pause, 100% capture rate, then like definitely think I would pay like capture my favorite mons into luxury balls because I think they just like visually, if you just look at the ball itself, I think it looks the cleanest.
Yeah, I think luxury ball is kind of up there. I think ultra ball, luxury ball, and dusk ball all look really cool, and I would probably use luxury balls and dusk balls if they are both at 100% catch rate. Like luxury ball for Umbreon 100% kind of thing.
Yeah.
Color matching balls is probably more interesting if that's the case.
Yeah,
so
I like
probably
color
go ahead.
matching as well. Like I did that for a while with my mons, and
Yeah.
then you don't have. We don't care about the spin. That you don't have a favorite Vivian.
I've not ever seen this Pokemon in my life.
Okay, well, mine is the monochrome one, and then favorite alchemy only gets betrayed. Jeexx believed that
I'm
only
sorry,
wouldn't
Oni.
look
Oh,
any
Oni
further.
didn't tell me. Oni didn't tell me.
But I have Gmax here because I don't care for alchemy, so it's like okay, it's different than the rest. So, and then favorite new evolution you get an Eastpass here because obviously you can put your favorite Pokemon there. For me, it's the
cheating.
Primeape that was so angry it died. I think that's just
Yeah.
so fucking cool.
And then it just keeps getting hit and becomes more angry every time, and then it just sweeps everybody.
Yeah, and I'm realizing now that I'm covering some of this stuff, but Jeex's favorite baby is the Smash Render for Pichu, and favorite new evolution here is Scizor. And I'm also
Quite
aware
obvious.
that these aren't this might actually look pretty small on the screen, but I mean we talk about it all of it anyway, so I don't think it matters. This is all podcasting this anyway. Also, I'm realizing this kind of for so long.
It's like 2 hours.
I've literally think I'm gonna just cut when we jump into this. I'm gonna cut the Yu-Gi-Oh stuff and have that episode be like that, and then
Yeah.
I'll literally just upload this. It's just us talking about this stuff as
I
a
was
standalone video.
gonna think about that,
Because I
suggesting
think
that.
it makes so much more sense.
Yeah.
But
It's gonna be like a 45-minute Yu-Gi-Oh!
yeah,
thing.
but
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna be like 40
Bang.
minutes for the matches, and then we have the other stuff. So it's still gonna be
Oh,
like an
yeah,
hour, so that's fine. Now, finally, did you think on your team, like, if you were to actually like, do you care about it being competitively viable? Like, were you thinking about that at all, or like not competitive, but like, were you thinking like, okay, this could be a team that I could play through a game with or something?
I would definitely play through a game with this team. As I said, Scizor, Alakazam are always gonna be on my team if I can have a chance. But Net most definitely if I can like argue a reason for why it should be in there. In this case, I can totally argue with there being a Pokemon that is 4x weak to fighting. I can just be like, yeah, I'm gonna swap and ban it when I'm assuming my opponent's gonna fucking close combat my Tyranitar and that's gonna be free. And Garchomp, because Garchomp just fucking sweeps. Like I have 2 pseudo legendaries on here. So I think it's like, yes, very powerful. The ground is made of ground. And then Claude Sire because he friend.
Yeah. I mean, for mine, like I was also thinking, like, okay, I want, well, I want it to be competitive viable. Well, gee, I wonder, are you real? But yeah, the only thing that I was like thinking of, can I justify for myself? Because usually when it's stuff like this, it's like, okay, obviously, 1 mega per team, and then I'm also like thinking either no legendaries or 1 legendary per team, but you know, the option was for me was there for me to have both Koraidon and Zacian in my team, so I went for it. And in addition, like obviously if you wanted to like not have another legendary there, then if I tried to keep it as a good team, I would probably replace Koraidon with a fire type, because then I would have like grass water fire core. But my like idea here is that Nidoking and Breloom are already like, they're 2 of like probably my top 5 most used mons when it comes to like just competitive battling. Metagross is on that list as well, but I already have 2 steel types in Zacian and Lucario, so I didn't want another one.
More fire weakness.
Yeah, exactly. And then like my justification was like, okay, water, grass, fire, core. Like obviously I have Greninja and Breloom there, but then technically Koraidon obviously isn't the fire type, but it gets Flare Blitz and it can set the sun, so it can hit basically as hard as a fire type could, and also works as a something to combat water types because of the sun as well. And also like I have obviously Zacian is both, but I have like Zacian, Lucario, and Koraidon also give me a steel dragon fairy core. So I basically just I have like essentially I have two essential like cores here already, and then I just like have some of my favorite competitive ones as well as just some of my favorite Pokemon period, while also like getting to use the cool forms. So yeah, and Nidoking can also learn Fire Blast, which what was my sets? I was always running the same set. Oh yeah, it was Sludge Wave, Ice Beam, Earth Power, and Fire Blast. Was the set that I always run. And then it was just either Scarf or Life Orb, but usually Life Orb.
I had like I was talking about this when I made this on stream, but I had like an idea of where this could function as a team of sorts, mostly because of the fact like they kind of cover for each other to a degree, but more specifically, Tyranitar and Garchomp are like, I mean, it's fucking Sandstorm, man.
You know what
It's just a shitty Sandstorm team, man.
You know what would be funny? If we put this on Showdown and do a game, but
yeah, I was thinking about that, but I would have to actually figure out what the fuck to do.
Yeah, and I mean, bro, so, I have two legendaries.
That's not fair.
I have two legendaries on my list. Mega Lucario, it also was basically always in Ubers, and like I don't like Ash Ninja isn't in any. I don't even know if there's a format where you could have all of this stuff like Koraidon and Ash Ninja on the same team.
Anything
so I don't
else?
even know if it. I mean, I guess, but I think like anything, because do they have those for the formats? Because like this SV unofficial, yeah, I guess it's just unofficial game, and then this, because then wait, what else? Oh, Caloric Shadow and Miraidon are in anything. Wait, Koraidon isn't in Everything Goes. It's an Uber. You can do a Koraidon. This would be a pre-patch, not pre-patch. This would be patchization, so it would be, you know, worse. Oh well, you can do Megas, so this doesn't even work. You literally don't have Lucario out. Right? Validate. Yeah, Lucario doesn't exist. So, because does anything go? Is there anything? Yeah, we literally can't even do this because this shit doesn't matter. So even if, well, because I doubt they. Yeah, Greninja Ash also doesn't exist here. Like you can have Greninja. Actually, wait. Yeah, you can do Valapon. Oh yeah, it's Valapon, but you don't get Ash Greninja. So they've even nerfed this ability. So Ash Greninja doesn't even exist anymore. And Nidoking is not in Gen 9. And then there's Breloom, bro. They hoed my team, bro.
It's over.
Zacian nerfed. Lucario's item doesn't exist. Greninja's ability nerfed, and Ash Greninja doesn't exist. Nidoking literally not in Gen 9. It's just 4 out of my 6 Pokemon don't even function. But yeah, maybe this is for the best, because either it's a wash or I lose to a terrible Sandstorm team.
What the fuck?
Actually, I didn't even know.
Your team.
No, it's still worse. I was gonna say like I don't actually even know, but no, it's not. I was gonna say like if Koraidon's weather is like primal weather, that you can't even replace it. That would be so fucking funny. Like imagine like 4 of your 6 mons being about like weather stuff, and then you couldn't even set the weather. Okay, if there was like a like this where it was like, okay, you try to make it as viable as possible, I'm assuming then one of those would be a Mega, and you have 5 potential Mega evolutions in your team. Which one would be the Mega?
Oh, can I only have one? That's fucked up.
Yeah, you can't have more.
Okay. Then can I not have if it's VGC, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can't have 2 like Mega Stones, I assume. That's the limitation.
I mean, you can you can have like all of them can be wearing Megastone. Like even in
But you can only
singles,
transform once.
you can only do it once. Yeah. So I figured like
Okay,
it's just for the thought experiment. It's just
Hmm.
funnier to like if you had to pick one of these to be your Mega, which would it be?
I mean, arguably, like, well, Tyranitar and Garchomp are decent Pokemon as they are. Alakazam is just a fucking glass cannon,
Mm-hmm.
which I assume the Mega just does better. It's just a glass cannon, but better. And Caesar is just like the same thing. It's just it just hits.
Well,
But then,
it is pretty funny because it's like Caesar only stats, literally same ability for Mega. Tyranitar,
yeah.
only stats, literally same as Mega. Garchomp literally gets worse because it gets slower, so it's literally worse. Mega
Oh, I
Garchomp is
didn't even know
literally
that.
worse than Garchomp. Well, in the Gen 7 meta game where I played the most, like Garchomp Mega was only OU by technicality, because obviously you can't play Mega Garchomp without playing Garchomp, and Garchomp was OU, but Mega Garchomp technically wasn't OU because nobody was playing it, because Garchomp was better than Mega Garchomp and you could use your item. But yeah, Alakazam like gets way better with the Mega, but yeah, then there's obviously Banette, where
The Banette, I think, is like the most obvious one just because of the fact that it gains a function. Becomes a Pokemon.
I've tried to use default Banette, and in competitive, it's not good.
Yeah. Yeah, like Mega Banette it at least has Prankster, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think Prankster doesn't work if you go into Mega. Prankster doesn't work on turn 1, right?
I'm assuming now it does because they changed it for Generation 7 to be like your speeds apply immediately. So I'm pretty sure Prankster would also apply immediately.
And then yeah, I think Mega Bennett would make the most sense purely because the fact that it's not like really viable for anything outside of just like switching in. Like for competitive, this doesn't really work at all. But like for a Nuzlocke, this team is solid.
Yeah, I think
because you can have a lot of coverage with this too, and you can really cover for your weaknesses.
Yeah, I think the issue for mine is obvious. Like my team is super hyper offense, and I don't actually even think I have a Mon. Well, the King of can't look because he doesn't fucking exist. But I never have a Stealth Rock setter.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of huge.
Yeah, I mean,
I think I could have 2 technically. I can have Clodsire or Tyranitar be one.
Garchomp also gets
3?
rocks. Garchomp, but
really?
I think like at that point it would be like you do Titar and Claude both get rocks, so you can set them up with either Garchomp if you want something like that. Then you would just give him spikes. So honestly, maybe your team would actually be better.
Banging.
But then at the same time, it's like if I send turn 1.
Okay, listen.
I send in Zacian. What does your team do? Because like, okay, Banette, even if it Mega Evolves, it immediately perishes. Alakazam, it immediately perishes. Garchomp can hit it back, but it's slower and it's gonna eat a player off, so it perishes. Sacred Sword
hear
kills
me out.
Titar, so
I Banette first. I Mega Evolve. Trick-Room. My only chance of doing anything in it.
Honestly, I would just Will-O-Wisp at that point.
No.
Just Bennett just immediate perish, but send Will-O-Wisp. Or
kind of
Destiny Bond.
Kind of base.
I think.
Wait, Destiny Bond works with Prankster, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I think my most used Mega Banette set was Swords Dance, Destiny Bond, Will-O-Wisp, and Shadow Sneak. It was pretty good. Did you either get priority SD, then you can hit bigger hits with priority moves or just burn stuff that you don't really deal with too well. And then if anything's gonna kill you, you can always just send Destiny Bond.
Yeah.
Mega Bandit is cool.
Nice. That's pretty. Mega Ben is cool. I think he's very, very cool. Yeah.
But
Definitely.
yeah, this
Oh god.
took a long time. This recording is almost 3 hours, and you remember when I said, and so I'll try to save my voice. Well,
Yeah. That didn't happen.
yeah,
That did it.
that went well, but
Fucking hell.
it's fine. But I mean, this was fun. Any closing thoughts?
I think we should do it. I don't know how, but we should definitely try to figure out how we could do this.
Oh, the
We can
battle.
have my team versus your team. Yeah.
I mean, I could always just change things around a little bit, like
Alakazam is in Gen 9.
oh.
Which, like, now it makes a whole lot of sense why I didn't have Alakazam on my team. I just thought, oh, it's probably somewhere that I just didn't look, but I didn't think about it. I
They
don't have a
didn't
single one.
include a Gen 1 Pokemon? How brave.
What the
How
fuck?
brave of them.
It's kind of weird, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Oh well. Oh well.
Gen 1 privileges are revoked. But yeah. This was
I think that about doesn't.
yeah, that definitely does it. That was a lot of fun, but I can definitely I can hear and feel my voice waning. So this is not gonna be the outro for the Yu-Gi-Oh thing. I'll probably add that post-production or something. But Jeexx, you get the pleasure to do the outro for our dear viewers for this one. And this is going to be something that actually, yeah, we don't talk about the result. It doesn't matter. This video will go up on Christmas Day, so that's something to keep in mind. And go ahead. I'll just say thank you so much, everybody, for watching throughout the years and this year. Especially the Sparking Zero stuff actually popped off, which I didn't expect this year, which was super cool. And I feel like overall, with the combination of our Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, other stuff as well as the Sparking Zero, I think 2024 has been my favorite year to do content on YouTube. So I want to thank all of y'all for that. That's been fun, and can't wait to see what else we have in store for 2025. But now, Jeexx, please do us the outro and send us into the holiday spirit and the New Year's.
All right. Thanks everybody for hanging out. I hope you had a good year. I hope you had a good month. I hope you had a good holiday season, and I hope that you get a lot of gifts and a lot of food, and you get to laugh and grow fat and all that. Hopefully, everybody had a good time listening to this 2-hour podcast about us just rambling about Pokemon and me having hot takes about random things. I apologize if I offended anyone. I meant that I didn't mean to offend you, but I definitely meant what I said. So, hell yeah. I will stick to my guns on that. But yeah. Take care, everybody, and have a lovely rest of your year. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you for watching. And remember to check out Jeexx's stream. Bye-bye.
At Jeexx, at twitch.tv/Jeexx.
Hell yeah, man. Perfect. We'll see you next year.